Hey, insight number 3. When I think about the story of Noah, which is what we're looking at, my first memory really does go back to primary school. And I was at a public school, and the local Catholic church sent a junior priest down, still a priest, to teach the heathen children some Bible stuff. Except that there was a good 5 or 6 members of the church in the class. And me being loud and know-it-all, because, that was me at that point. Not so much now. I'm a little, I have tempered that. But I didn't like being told stuff. I don't like being lied to, and I don't like being told stuff that isn't true. So when the priest came in and started talking about Noah, which is kind of one of the first stories they start off with, I don't know why. They sort of just skip over Adam and Eve and go straight into Noah with kids. Anyway, he was talking about they took animals 2 by 2, and I'm like, no, they didn't. They took 2 of the ones that were unclean and 7 of the ones that were clean. And he's like, no, that's not right. And I was like, yes, it is. It's in chapter 7, verse 2. And he looked at that, went quiet, and carried on. And then he said they were in the ark for 40 days and 40 nights. And I put my hand up again, and he didn't call on me, so I just started talking. And I was like, no, actually, they were in the ark 40 days and 40 nights. The waters got up to lift the boat off the mountain. And they were actually in the ark more like 150 days by the time everything was done. It's a long time to be sealed up in a boat. It's like a mega lockdown, right? It's hard. We know how hard that is. We have experience with that now. We know what it's like. We know what it's like to be stuck in our own little arks and have that, At least we could get groceries delivered, right? So I got banished from the class. So that's my memory of the first memory of sort of Noah and that. And then, a couple of times after that, they just stopped coming because they realised we weren't actually heathen children. We kind of knew more than the priest did, which was a bit sad because my friend also got banished. But anyway, I digress. I just thought I'd put that in there because it's kind of funny. Funny in that, if we teach our children right and teach our children truth from the scriptures, that they can defend themselves against any misdoctrines that come their way. And that's a really good point. So one of the things I learned from the story of Noah is that, and I'm grateful that my mother and my grandparents taught me from the scriptures, not just a storybook, but taught me actual truths from the scriptures, so that when misdoctrine and wrong facts came my way, I knew the difference and I could say, no, and I knew where they were in the scriptures, and I'm really grateful that that happened. Anyway, we're going to look at how miracles happen, because this is such a cool one, and I love this very, very much. So in chapter 8, verses 7 to 13 tells us how miracles happen. So let's have a quick look at this. We won't read all of it, but we're just going to look at a few things. So 7 and 9 talks about when he sent forth the raven and didn't nothing, and it came back. And then in 8, he sent forth a dove to see if the waters were abated from the face of the ground. The dove found no rest and returned. And then took him back into the ark. Now that's the part of the miracle where we need to wait and have patience. And sometimes this is going to be the hardest part for us. And it's going to be the time of struggle and the time where we get frustrated and be like, come on, you said this was going to happen. So that's the wait and the patience. And then there's some hope. So in verse 10, basically, he stayed out another 7 days. So waited another week. And then in 11, the dove came in the evening. Oh, he let the dove out, stayed out a week, come back, and had what? An olive leaf plucked off. There's the hope. And I've got in my journal here. This is the part of the miracle where there's hope, where God sends you a reminder, just a little thing that, look, it's coming, it's going to happen, just hold, right? You're doing everything you need to do, just hold, and that's what the olive leaf is. So I have a picture of the olive branch there. Now, I don't know which kind of olive tree the dove brought back, but this will do for me. This is a lovely picture. And I've written down here, a symbol of hope and assurance of miracles, because that's what this is. It's a symbol of hope and assurance of miracles, that things are going to happen. So that's the hope. And then in verses 12 to 13 is the realization, like that when the miracle actually happens. So waited another week and then sent another dove, and it didn't come back. It stayed out. Because remember, in this time, when they were on the ark, they would have been reproducing, and these were birds which he had in the sevens, so they would have been reproducing. So he stayed away. The dove flew away, obviously found a tree that he could live in, and was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm going to stay here. So that was the realization. So then 13, it says, and it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, of the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. Can you imagine the joy that would have flowed through him? We can leave the ark. We can get out of isolation. We're out of lockdown. We get to go forth and exist again. We all know how exciting that feels. We have that experience. Like I said, we know what it's like now for that amount of time. So very, very cool. And yeah, that's how miracles happen. So 7 to 9 are hope and patience. The middle part of the trial where you pray for miracles. Verse 11 is all hope, an end in sight, and God hasn't forgotten you. And that olive branch is a powerful symbol of hope in Christ. And then in verses 12 to 13, the realization of the miracle. That miracles happen and have been happening all along. Now, sometimes miracles are instants. You don't really see the process. They just happen. And yet if you look back, you can see a process in there. But miracles happen. Most of them take time. Most miracles, big ones like that, they take time. But keep looking for those olive branches that God sends. Keep looking for them because they're there. Remember, olive branch, a symbol of hope and assurance of miracles. Olive branch, symbol of hope and assurance of miracles. Maybe put that up in your home somewhere to remind you. Elder Jeffrey R. Holland, he said, believe in miracles. I have seen so many of them come when every other indicator would say that hope was lost. Hope is never lost. Never, never, never. We've got Jesus Christ. Hope is never lost. So that's how miracles happen. That's like the kind of breakdown there. So I like that. Mark that away in your scriptures if you want to. I'll write that in the words. And yeah, hang around for the next one because we're going to talk about covenants. Yay. I'll see you there.